Welcome back, Storm fans. Tonight I have a treat for you. I am joined by TonyScapone, and as always, I'm Bryant Cook of the Epic Storm. Welcome back, Tony.
Happy to be here, man. Happy to be here.
So today we're playing the Epic Gamble, which is your mono red legacy creation that often splashes blue for Echo of Aeons, and then some sideboard cards like Void Snare or Echoing Truth. No Void Snares today, which is a sorcery, and typically with the Epic Gamble, you have Burning Wish to get sorceries out of your sideboard, but Tony, I scoured this deck list everywhere. I have been unable to find Burning Wish or its cousin, Just Wish. Where have they gone?
They have gone in search of a more efficient, lower to the ground list, and really something that is going to allow Flamestoker to just thrive. So yeah, we used to play 4 Burning Wish, or I shouldn't say we used to. So this is just a list that is trying to not play those cards. There are pros and cons to doing so. I've been trying to play with this archetype, this being, an offshoot of the Epic Gamble, for probably close to a year and a half at this point, just because it's really fun to play 8 baubles. This is how I always used to look at it. It's really fun to play 8 baubles and just play main deck Grape Shot, and it allows you to play 4 main deck Relays and 4 main deck Echo of Aeons, right? That's probably the biggest reason, as well as 4 Gambles, which, should be mentioned.
All right, I'm going
In
to pause you
this,
for a quick second.
sure.
So some of
What do
our
you got?
viewers might not know what Vindictive Flamestoker is, so I just want to put that out there. So it's a
Mm.
relatively new card. It's from Phyrexia LB1. It's 1 red for a 1/2 Phyrexian Wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you put a counter on it. You can pay 7 mana and sacrifice it, discard your hand, draw 4, and this costs 1 generic mana less for each counter on it. So if you play 6 spells, it costs 1 red to activate to discard your hand and draw 4 cards.
Right. And if you look at this list with all the zeros in it, you could imagine that it does happen pretty quickly, and it does. In fact, if you get both this and Birgi going, it gets wildly efficient.
I would believe that,
But
yeah.
oh yeah, I mean, obviously a 0 drop is let's say like Lion's Eye Diamond, right? Making you 3 mana with a Birgi in play, it's making you 4. If you also have a Stoker in play, you could argue you're getting 5 out of your Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yeah.
But so probably the 2 biggest reasons, one I had mentioned, being able to play 4 Relay and 4 Echo, which for this archetype, they are the most powerful cards in the deck, right? And of course, you would want to have as many of them as possible. Now, you could argue that Burning Wish is redundancy for those cards, and thus gives you even more of them, and thus this list has less of them. And that is true. So you have more redundancy in a traditional style, but you lose efficiency, right? You do have to actually resolve Burning Wish. You do have to pay an additional 2. You have to do things like activate your Lion's Eye Diamond and make that decision beforehand. This stuff, I mean, Relay is a card that is best just right in your opener. So we have a higher chance for that. We have a higher chance for Echo. And without Burning Wish, we don't have to have a Wish package in the sideboard. So we have access to just more cards in our sideboard. We can play Leyline of the Void, which, I mean, some of the faster graveyard matchups we didn't have trouble with, but something like Oops All spells, and it's also nice to take a matchup that's good and just make it better, right? So it is nice having access to that.
So one thing that I noticed looking at this, because I have a very old The Epic Gamble list, and I shouldn't say old, but this is from when one was released. I mean, it was a little bit different because I was trying out the Mycosynth Gardens. But here we have Grim Monolith, we have 4 main deck defense grids, we have Overmaster, obviously we have the Burning Wish and Wish package. But when we come here, there's the defensive grids have gone to the sideboard. There's no Grim Monolith. So I understand that you're making the deck lower to the ground for Vindictive Flamestoker and the Relays and the Echoes, but what was the rationale behind losing Defense Grid and Grim Monolith for people that might not be familiar?
So Grim Monolith is actually pretty decent for the card, or for the deck. And Grid is fine as well, but you could argue that both of those cards are, I like to call them in some ways prerequisite spells, right? And a prerequisite spell is basically a spell that you want to or have to play first in order to start your sequence. And if you have too many of these prerequisite spells, well, then it makes it makes things clunky, right? We're really trying to lean into Flamestoker here, and in order to do that, you need to start with a red source and then start casting spells. And if you're trying to cast two colorless artifacts post Stoker, it's just really hard to pull off. It's one of the reasons I'm only running 2 Birgi rather than 4. It's just difficult. That is another very costly and prerequisite spell, right? Ideally we want to start a sequence with like Ancient Tomb Spirit Guide Birgi, and then play a 0, and then play Stoker, and then just splat a bunch of 0s. And it's just difficult to do that when you have too many cards that cost 2, that cost 3, that have these awkward mana requirements. We need 8 baubles, and when you're playing 8 baubles, you need to find room for 8 baubles. So despite there being other cards that can and do work with this deck, and you can shuffle things around to support them with fine results, I've at least for now, this is the most optimal thing that I've been able to come up with after a fair amount of testing. Although I should mention, I wouldn't say that this archetype is at all solved.
Okay. So I believe we've covered a lot of the main deck at this point. And we've covered, we touched on Leyline of the Void and Defense Grid. And if you've watched any of the previous videos here on this channel, Empty the Warrens comes in a lot. So it comes in versus decks like Delver, Bant Control. It can come in against a deck like Death and Taxes. Although your main deck now, it used to have dead cards and like things like Defense Grid, and it doesn't anymore. So no spoilers, Tony, but we'll see how you board later for this card and some of those more fair matchups. Maybe it's Galvanic Relay, who knows? And then Shattering Spree. All of these cards make sense to me, but is there any like hidden modes or anything you'd like to share about the sideboard?
No. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There are certainly points where, and that's maybe something that I haven't 100% like, full on finished Rubik's Cube solved, where some of the sideboarding doesn't line up perfectly. However, I will say I never have, and I don't think I ever will, board out a single copy of Galvanic Relay in my life, Bryant. Okay?
What? Tony, I board out that card all the time. Like, there's just some
know
matchups
you do.
where I don't feel like it's that good. Like Death and Taxes, like I'm gonna relay for 20 and they're gonna failure me. I don't want that to happen.
No. See, and I understand that logic, but it's relay decks, monocolored, soul land based relay decks just play out differently than, and even against like say initiative and stuff, I'm still leaving relay in, because if you relay for enough on turn 1, which is what we're looking to do, as long as you play a high enough density of bounce spells, removal, what have you, then what you're looking to do is be able to start your sequence with, say, an Echoing Truth or a Shattering Spree, or a Shatterskull Smashing, whatever it is, and then just go off.
Okay. All right, Tony. So where can people find you and your content?
You can always find me by searching TonyScapone on Google, on YouTube. I stream on Twitch, so it's all one word, TonyScapone. Also, I just started a Patreon, so same thing. You can find that. Really, if you go on my YouTube, just go down in the description. I have all the links right there.
We'll also have the links in our own description down below. All right, Tony, anything else before we head on over to match number 1?
Nah, let's jam.
All right, everyone, we'll see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicsforum.com/shop, or submitting a donation deck via theepicsforum.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Match number 1. Once again, I have the Tony Mother Effin Scapone with me, and this is a hand where, Tony, we can do the thing on turn 1. You keep this against an unknown.
I'm pretty sure they play exclusively goblins. So, and yes, I would. The power level is high enough such that I would be jamming. And this is actually one of the benefits of Mishra's Bauble. If you play these LED Echo Storm decks enough, you know that oftentimes you're discarding a lot of cards to your Lion's Eye Diamond that you're just not using, just the way it kind of turns out. So it's really nice to be able to just put in a couple of free cards that even if you fizzle, you get some redraws to get yourself back in it.
Yeah, for sure. So, Tony, I would like to say, I think it's like kind of disrespectful to just be like, oh, they play goblins. Like, you just assume that all unknown opponents play goblins? That's kind of rude.
No, I'm pretty sure this opponent plays goblins.
Their
I'm
username
pretty
seems
sure it's
pretty familiar.
yeah, I think this is like I think it's an alter account of one of the big goblins players, but I forget who. Which is I think ultimately what they want using an alternate account.
I've definitely faced this name before. I couldn't tell you when, though. So, I'm going to float a red. I think that we're primarily red deck. We have Flamestoker in our deck. So, Tony, you can't stop me. I'm clicking the last blue.
Yes, that's what I would do.
All right, so here we can play our Flamestoker and then Mox Opal.
Heck yes.
All right, one counter on the Flamestoker. And then Urza's Bobble will be 2 counters. So I kind of want to keep moving. Is that acceptable?
Yeah, I
All right.
would keep going. I feel like yeah, we ride a flame.
And then we gamble for LED, gives us a 50-50.
Uh,
I mean, you could just get Relay
we
too.
yeah, we could gamble for relay.
Relay's probably, if they're actually on Goblins, Relay for 10 probably just wins.
4-3. We also actually have, if we gamble for Echo, we have enough to activate Stoker.
Okay.
And
Then
then
we'd
all
have
we
to.
gotta do is hit like a Lion's Eye Diamond or, 3 mana.
What would you do here? Like, what card are you getting?
That's what I would do.
You want to grab Echo.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because then, worst case scenario, we're drawing 4 cards next turn, and we'll have an Echo or access to
Wow.
Echo.
All right.
Easy game.
So we're spinning.
Spin it.
Spin, spin. We
We're
hit.
just building our own relay with these baubles.
Do we play the Flamestoker here? Probably, right?
Um, Goblins,
We could also just like
yeah,
pass and cash in all of these.
I would just play. Yeah, I guess there's no reason to play Stoker, right? Because we're not. It's not saving any efficiency or anything. I would probably use 2 of the baubles just to. Well, you know what? No, we'll just use them all because we're gonna use them all even if we don't see Metalcraft. You know.
Okay, so in their upkeep, we will use a Mishra's Bauble. Also, think about
But
how nice of a person we are, Tony. Like, our opponent mulliganed to 4,
I
and
already thought about that.
like we gave them 7 cards. We wanted to make the game more fair for them, and they just were not interested.
It was probably the first thing that I was thinking when we started this whole thing.
All right, so let's assume that all unknown opponents play goblins. How would you board for this matchup? Like, do you board in empty for Goblin Authority?
This particular opponent in their goblin post board has a lot of hate. Not excluding Leyline of the Void and Chalice of the Void.
So they're a big fan of the Void.
Yep. Echoing Truth and Shattering Spree for sure. And I'm sorry, where did you at? Did you ask about grid?
I asked about empty for Goblin
You asked about
Authority, but it
empty.
seems like no is your answer.
You just want some goblin on goblin action, don't you?
I do. I feel like it's important to establish that you're the alpha.
Yeah, I wouldn't be bringing empty. I think we can. I mean, they also play Mindbreak Trap, but we could play one grid if we wanted to. But we do have to remove some cards. We're probably just shaving some baubles, some Urza's baubles.
I guess, like, here's a question. You don't have fetch lands in your deck, so, like, do you ever split them like this for needle purposes?
I don't know. I feel like it's probably pretty rare that that's going to happen. They're not going to play Needle, though, right? Just generally speaking, you're saying, though.
Yeah, I feel like these cards are a lot closer in this deck than they are in TES just because you don't have the fetches. So
The Mishra's Bauble, the usefulness of its effect really is that much better than Urz's Bauble. Just like to the point where I think you're on average going to get more out of having a better effect than you are on the occasional getting wrecked by Needle.
this looks like a keep to me.
Yeah, let's keep it and hope they don't. I hope they aren't entering any sort of void.
Not a big fan of the Void.
No.
Badlands. Goblin Lackey. So a
Oh
star
my
like
God,
this
they're
makes me
just
think that like there's a pretty good chance they have Mind Break.
right. Oh,
So we could just like drop our artifacts into play and then pass and try to echo next turn.
oh man, it was either that or it was just play one Lion's Eye Diamond, play Soul Land and Echo, which I think I would have done until we drew the second LED.
I would have
Which is
agreed
just
there. But I think now we pass and just next turn echo with a bunch of mana.
yeah.
Alternatively, we could bobble now for info. So if we see like they have like a Trash Master on top of their deck, we could echo now.
Yeah, there's not much not much to lose bobbling.
Bloodstained Mire. Okay, so we'll pass the turn. We'll draw a card. Chrome Mox.
I would have loved to have had that last turn. Would have just gambled for a second Echo and just go.
Just to think we could have emptied them and proven that we were the better Goblin deck, but instead we're taking a hit here.
And got trapped.
Maybe. Lackey connects. Goblin Matron. That is not Goblin Trash Master. Tony, a fun fact for you. Goblins was the first ever combo deck I played. Meltdown! Holy moly! We got wrecked.
I told you. They're hateful.
I played Goblins before Legacy was Legacy, and Type 1.5 was a Food Chain Goblins deck. So I think now we just gamble for LED, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing into Trap and Blast at that point.
What do you want to do then?
But
I mean, we could just relay for 3.
You could, but I don't think we have much of a choice. I would just yes to your first question.
So, do you write a flame first, or do you just try to increase your odds of not discarding LED? It's a 7% difference.
I mean, the big thing is that we get to hold
8%.
on to a red source. I'm not too worried about the total mana. I would write a flame.
Okay. So you're.
I mean,
going for the explain the math for some people. We would have gambled with 4 cards in hand, so every card is 25%. When you do it with 3 cards in hand, each card is 33.3%, so it's a 8% difference.
Yep. Nope. Now we're open to nothing. I won't say it. All right.
Spin the wheel. No whammies. No whammies.
Yeah.
We had it in us the whole time.
Ooh, that grape shot is nice.
So we have enough mana here where we could go Flamestoker into Grape Shot, but we don't have Relay. So we could Grape Shot plus Relay.
Yeah, I think that's the play.
I want to lead on the Grape Shot so that maybe if they do have a trap, that's how they use it. All right, so we targeted the Goblin Matron and then the Lackey, and the rest will go at them. And now they're taking a long time on this Grape Shot. Like, if you're going to Mind Break trap it, you might as well have kept your Matron alive, right?
Yeah. You did 2 on Lackey by accident.
Well, I'm not very good at this game, Tony. Forgive me. All right. If we lose this game by a single point of damage, I'll tell all of my subscribers to unsubscribe from me and subscribe to you. Okay, we have passed the turn. How have the baubles felt in the Epic Gamble, Tony? Are you a big fan? Could you see yourself playing it in the other version?
I've tried, but it's one of those things where it kind of feels like how we felt back when I was first creating this deck, where it's just two decks, and if you build something somewhere in the middle, you're probably just better off going one way or the other.
So we have the Echoing Truth. We do not have a blue source here.
Yeah.
What to do?
I told you this opponent is hateful. They have hateness in their heart.
I mean, we can't use any of these. Literally any of them.
Yeah. I mean, ugh. Just play a land and pass, basically. I mean, do we want some of these in our graveyard, I guess? Not
You're the
really.
expert. You let me know.
I don't really care for the mana. I suppose we can put Gamble or just Gamble or Stoker.
And I imagine we're playing the Ancient Tomb here. I don't think we want to play the Shatter Skull, but I could be wrong.
I'm not sure if I want to play either. I think we're just holding cards for Horn at this point.
Okay. So I noticed when putting together the deck that there's one volcanic island in the deck. In older lists that we've played together, you had a volcanic island and a fiery islet. Today we have two City of Traders. Do you mind explaining that a little bit? The second city versus the fiery islet.
It's just for power level for relay so that we can power it out more consistently. One non-artifact or non-zero blue source is enough to gamble for. You know, obviously, if Chalice is on 1 and 0, like if there was only a Chalice on 0, we could have gambled for the blue source, and likely just like very likely would have just went off anyways.
Yeah.
But our opponent is particularly hateful.
So I think the idea behind a lot of Goblins lists, if I'm not going to joke about them and be serious, is that they probably win a lot of the fair matchups naturally. I don't think we should show them how we boarded.
No.
And so they win a lot of fair matchups naturally. So what they do in their sideboard is they overcompensate for combo. And I don't know if that's the best use of their sideboard space, but I think it is a reasonable thing that you can do. And it appears that's what our opponent has chosen to do. So props to them.
Yeah.
They have taken game number 2.
It makes sense, especially on Moto.
So what are we doing for the third game? Do you just resubmit? Do you submit Defense Grid out of respect for Mindbreak? What's the deal?
No, I would just run it back.
Okay.
And we talked about a lot of the pros of a build like this instead of classic Epic Gamble, and some of the cons certainly include that we're a little more fragile. You know, we open ourselves up a bit more to things like Chalice, and we certainly saw that there. It's worth noting they don't always play a full set of Chalice of the Void. We certainly saw 2 of them, and there are 7 cards or 8 cards there, but
yeah. Sometimes in my experience, people build sideboards with random, like, 1 Mindbreak Trap, 1 Chalice of the Void, 1 Deafening Silence, and their thought process is that if somebody sees 1, they might, like, board differently and then get blown up by another rather than play multiple of the same effect. I'm usually of the belief that you should just play whatever card is best.
yeah, I'm with you.
So this hand doesn't actually do anything. Like, yeah, we have Echo,
Nope.
but like, what you can put a Simian Spirit Guide into play on turn 1.
It's very close to front setting an Echo, but not quite.
And I don't think this gets the job done either.
Nope.
The 5. So here we have a turn 1 Flame Stoker, and then I think we have to pass. So I guess, like, you could bottom Spirit Guide and write a Flame, maybe, and then just, like, play double Stoker and then your zeros. I don't know. We could also just go to 4. We are a 4 Echo 4 LED deck.
I mean, it is worth noting that Stoker does block Lackey, but
It's just kind of slow, is my issue.
One of the benefits of playing a 4th Echo in your main deck is that you have more of them to draw on the mulligan, so I would actually just send this back.
To 4! Hell yeah.
Hey.
Alright, so here we're on 4 cards. I actually want to make sure that we just beat Mindbreak here, so I want to put back Chromox, I want to put back the Gamble, and then you choose between Simian Spirit Guide and your City of Traders. I don't have any real strong preferences between the two.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd probably just bottom the Simian for the higher power level. Sure, if we draw into a soul land, then that's not even necessarily true, but we'll just take the 2 while we have it.
Our opponent has also taken a mulligan to 4. I imagine they're trying to find the void.
Some sort of void. It's in their black heart.
I was going to make a joke about how my heart is a void or something like that, but Tony's ruined it. I'm sorry, everyone.
Oof.
They've taken a mulligan to 3. Well, I don't feel bad for them, Tony. And I really don't, because 1, we're trying to give them 7 cards. Like, we're extremely thoughtful in that aspect. 2, if they play a Leyline of the Void, their 2 cards might beat our 4.
Yep.
Okay, they're on 3. City of Traders. Lion's Eye Diamond. Pitch this monkey. Tap the city. Spell number 2, Echo of Aeons. You spin me right round, baby. Right round. Alright, so here we have an interesting decision. We could play Flamestoker with 2 blue floating, or we can play Birgi.
I'd play Birgi.
So would I. The Bergmeister.
The Bergstrom.
Oh.
Oh.
Alright, so we know that they have the Void. How would you like to play the rest of this turn?
I would play Chromox Imprinting Grape Shot.
Ooh, okay. I would have imprinted the Spree, but I'm down for it.
Yeah, I'm terrified of Chalice.
Stoker. And then the question is, do you play the Petal this turn, or do you try to hold it for the next Flamestoker?
I want to get it out in front of Chalice.
Okay. And now, I have to imagine the only possible thing we can do now is Shattering Spree or own Chromox.
You're pretty good at finding those niche but high power level lines, let me tell you.
Alright, so we're passing the turn. Tony, I don't know if you get them on your videos, but a lot of the time people let me know how bad they are in the comments section, so that's always nice of them. Like, Bryant, I know this is your first time ever playing this deck, but you suck. Here's the 3 times you misplayed over the course of 1 hour. I am never watching one of your videos ever again. Signed, like the expert.
Well, you also play, like 40 different decks, so...
Yeah. I play them all equally terrible, Tony. Don't be too impressed. Alright, so they just played a Wasteland, and we found a Galvanic Relay. So one nice thing about this is that we get to be the beatdown. I've heard there's like a really popular article about how you want to be the beatdown or something, and we've established that.
Yeah, I mean, get wrecked, lackey.
Yeah, like what is this thing gonna do? We have 2 1/2s.
Nice 1/1.
We could relay for 2 here, but I don't know how much I like that.
Well, they don't have Chalice unless they draw it. I mean, it wouldn't... Is it crazy to want to hold it?
Damn. I wish I didn't play the Petal then. I thought you were going to say do it.
What, relay?
Now I feel bad for playing the Petal, because if we were going to hold, I wouldn't have played the Petal.
Right.
Do we just pass then?
But are you suggesting playing the relay? I mean, I think either are defensible, but I like having red sources in play. They showed us Meltdown as well, though. Jeez. So there is, we do need to get going.
Let's do it.
Yeah, play it. Because if we hit an LED, we're just in business next turn.
I love businesses. This is great. Okay. Alright, so let's see what they reveal. The first one. Gamble, that's a good one. And another gamble. You might say that this deck is epically gambled or something.
You might.
Cavern of Souls. They choose Goblin. Oh, they did not attack.
Bobble is not bad.
Do we start on the Bobble just because we don't actually want to discard it?
I would rather have LED though. I would gamble for LED.
Okay.
Because if it hits Bobble, I'm fine. If it hits itself, then we play Bobble.
Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay, so now we play this, which is Storm 2.
And now we start getting nuts. Now we attack Well, uh,
I don't think the 1 point of damage is worth a possible like a breed or something.
yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Should we gamble again, giving us a 50-50 on another LED?
We can't.
Why? Oh, you're right. You're
So
right. My bad. My bad. Okay.
yeah, we just make red and activate the 5 oily
So
stoker.
this is going to cost 2 instead of 1. A little bit of a bummer, but it is a draw 4. So we
Okay.
can play the opal here.
Uh, yeah. Although
Was I supposed to gamble for LED first?
I don't think so. 3 lands. That's brutal.
So do I gamble now?
I would say so.
Okay.
Worst case, and it is pretty bad, but worst case, we do at least get to draw 4. But nice.
All right. Storm is 5. Which land do you play?
Oh, jeez. 3 for 5. Ancient. I'd say Ancient Tomb.
Okay.
And then
So,
make a blue.
and then sack this for red.
Yeah.
Let's draw 4. Another Flame Stoker. I imagine we play the Flame Stoker.
Yeah.
And then do we just Echoing Truth the Lackey?
If we play Bobble, 2, 4, 2, 3, 1, 3 oil. We don't have enough to activate Stoker if we Echoing Truth our Opal.
I don't think we're winning this
shy.
turn, though. Like, I think it's kind of a tall ask. We could just bounce and try again after we untap.
Do we need to bounce? We can just hold it back, right?
Yeah, but we're letting 2 mana burn, and then next turn it costs more mana. Like, I think it's kind of free to just do it now, but if you want to hold it, we can.
Yeah, I guess there's nothing really that we're gonna be.
Because, like, if they play
bouncing.
Chalice, we have the Shattering Spray.
And I would hold on the Mishra's Bauble until like probably their end step.
Okay.
I'll be honest, those were actually pretty low roll Stoker activations.
Yeah, they were not good. I thought we were going to lie to the audience and be like, oh, yeah, that was really good. And there's the effing Chalice of the Void.
So I think it's still worth bobbling here. So we have our red source.
Another Lackey. Okay, Chromux, Relay. So I think we start off with the Spree on the Chalice. I do not want to replicate, so we'll switch that down to 0.
And then we could... No, never mind. Yeah, just play this and then relay. We could make the obvious play.
I mean, I'm down to Relay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, Galvanic Relay is my favorite Magic the Gathering card, even though I do board it out, and Tony never boards it out because Tony's a better person than I am.
Never in my life.
Alright, so we hit another Relay, Echoing Truth, and an Opal.
Have we hit all 4 of our sideboard, like, removal spells?
Yes, we have. Why would you play another Lackey when you know I have Echoing Truth here? Unless they have Pyroblast. So let's tap this for blue. Play Opal. I mean, we also don't have to cast this now. We could just, like, Flamestoker.
I am interested... yeah, I'm interested in stoking the flame.
Alright, 1 red, draw 4, put Echo to the bin. A little bit worried about a red blast here, if I'm being honest.
Alright.
So I think...
Well, we don't even have to echo if we don't want to. How much total mana? We have 3, 4, 5.
I think we just bounce...
How much does Rite of Flame make?
Looks
Do
like
we
it's
have
the
enough
first
to
one.
bounce, echo, and then even if they Pyroblast, relay?
So this is an 8 mana line. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yes.
Alright. I would do that then. How many times have we bounced their Lackeys and killed them?
Okay, so we will play an Opal. The Lotus Petal. Rite of Flame. I might have miscounted.
2, 4, 5. Oh yeah.
I think I was counting the Chromox as a mana source in our hand.
Mm.
I think we just
Well,
relay for 6.
yeah. Then
Oh,
well,
no, we
no,
should
I'd
play the
use this
Chromox.
Chromox.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
bad. Galvanic Relay for 7. Well, we hit a Bergmeister, but not a whole lot of cards in hand. Tony, just a thought, and I hope you don't take this as an insult because I think both decks are very good, but this deck feels a little bit like Mono Red Riddler. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
there's no Riddlers in it, but, like, it plays sort of
Well,
similarly.
Well, they play eight baubles, so lots of baubles. All right, I think it's pretty obvious they have Pyroblast, or they at least want to continue to represent it, or continue representing it.
I think we start on the Birgi.
Yeah, because we have enough mana to really front and backside an Echo.
Let's tap this for blue. Now we'll make it red. Let's auto yield to our Bergmeister triggers. We'll keep the new one. Lotus Petal.
We do have exactly enough, if I'm counting right.
And then we're not going to play the Chromox because we want to be able to imprint post Echo. Or cast Echo.
Or I'm sorry, we have one more than enough.
Attempt to spin.
Now, if they've been patient and really trying to get us, they could, like, I was worried if they surgicaled first. But they did not. Although I guess one bad thing about not playing the Chromox is now we have to use both of our blue sources. Do we want to play out a Chromox? I feel like if they had surgical, they would have already used it.
It's up to you.
I think I'd, yeah.
Okay. We're down to 5 minutes. We need to create some storms here, Tony.
Let's do it.
Spin. Storm is 7. One grape shot is underneath Chromox, so we have one other grape shot.
Nice, we're in.
There it is. So we'll
Druid.
play Diamond. Storm is 8. Rite of Flame.
You just keep drawing our sideboard cards. Hold on, here's a thought. 2, 4, 5. Oh, it's so close. We almost had enough to, like... Oh, no, never mind.
We're down to
Keep
4
going.
minutes. What, like, am I gambling for an Echo
play.
here?
Yeah, I would say so. Or let's grape shot first. Might as well.
Okay, so we'll do all
It's
at
only
them.
gonna cost 1. I would put 1 on Lackey.
Yeah, for sure.
Because yeah.
Okay. Anytime we're in the red zone, Tony, I just get super nervous. I don't like it. So, yeah.
You might as well Echoing Truth on our Mox Opal. We do net a mana by doing so. We could do it on Chrome Mox, but then it takes... Actually, I would. I would Echoing Truth our Chrome Mox.
So...
And then...
Okay.
And then... Well... If only we had the other grape shot. Yeah, play them all out. I would imprint the Shattering Spree.
I feel like we probably could have
Horn.
gotten pretty close to the lethal grape shot. If this was the plan, we could have hard cast both Simian Spirit Guides and gotten there.
We may have had it, but we don't have much time.
Yeah. So if they mind break us, we do get to do Monkey Beatdown.
18. We would have been shy by, I think, 2. Yes. And a Birgi. 7 power.
Okay, we'll sacrifice for red. I'm sorry, for blue. Spin. 2.5 minutes on the clock. I don't like this. Not one bit.
Nice. Oh, jeez. Can we even? Yes, we can.
I think we're going to time out. Am I supposed to hardcast the monkeys? I want to.
I would.
Alright, I just gotta quit being so nervous. We have 2 minutes on the clock. We can do this.
Hopefully it just flips Grape Shot.
Okay. Minute 40. Come on. Don't lag. Let's go. Too bad we don't have another creature with power in play, because in theory we could Echoing Truth their blockers, attack, and then Grape Shot for underneath Mindbreak, but no matter what, if we want a Grape Shot for 3, we have to play in a Mindbreak.
Yeah, we can always Shatter Skull smashing blockers. But yeah, we still wouldn't have enough to... Well, there's Grape Shot.
Okay. A minute 39 on the clock, Tony.
Plenty of time.
So nervous right now. There's some Twitch streamers that intentionally get into the red zone because it makes people feel anxious watching them, so they're more invested. It just makes me feel so uncomfortable. Like, I do not like it.
Whatever you do, don't play Flamestoker, because then there's a ton of triggers, and you actually have to click on every one. You can't just have them yield, like Birgi. Unless they kill Birgi, then it could be worth it. But we will probably time out if you play Stoker.
My plan is to just answer their things and then attack Grape Shot for very little.
Yeah, what? Shatter Skull smashing it, then attack, and then a few spells and Grape Shot.
Yeah.
Or you could even...
Chalice
Zero.
Zero.
That's fine.
Okay, we have a minute 30. Red. Red. We'll go to 10. Shatter Skull. Cast on the Lackey. I don't know. What am I doing here? Play a Lotus Petal. Shit. I swore on YouTube. I'm sorry, everyone.
Play a couple more zeros.
I'd rather cast Rite of Flame. I don't know. This
You have additional clicking. Just play zeros.
We're just gonna Grape Shot. We have lethal on board if I just cast the Grape Shot. 39 seconds. Come on. Tony, we're gonna time out. I can feel it.
They have an instant speed blocker. We're gonna have to Echoing Truth, so I wouldn't F6 just yet.
That Goblin, the one with flash that deals damage.
Yeah. Alright, we got him.
18 seconds on the clock, Tony. Oh, I do not like this. What have you gotten me into? Well, we're 1-0. We've done it. 4 more matches left.
Easy game.
Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match number 2. Tony, we're facing CliffBoyardee. I imagine they're a really big fan of Beefaroni or something like that. Alright, so we have Vindictive Flamestoker. I imagine that this is a keep.
It's... Medium Stoker hands are often a trap, however... It really depends on what we're playing against. You can keep it. It's on the lower side, though. Definitely on the lower side.
Let's see what the number 1 Beefaroni fan is playing.
We have a lot of really good draws, though.
So what's going to happen is we're going to Flamestoker, make a bunch of oil, and then pop it, and then we're going to draw into Relay, and Relay for like 12. You just gotta believe.
Possible. Yeah, if we draw a red card to imprint, that is a very possible line.
I think we're just dead. Turn off the auto yield here. Dothy Voidwalker. Okay. So they're on this deck. Alright, so do we show them what we're playing?
We're probably getting double griefed. I would. We can still draw a Relay.
Okay.
We do have Grape Shot in the deck.
Flamestoker down. I mean, very good start. Goodbye, Diamond. Although I don't know how good Diamond even is when there's a Dothy in play. There's a Relay.
Ooh. So just I would hold on to the Bobble even, yeah.
So the question is, like, do we even Relay next turn? Like, is 4 enough, or should we try to sit on it so that way we can get a larger Relay that might actually be able to win?
I would. Because we could Relay into Relay. Relay and Bobble are both as I'm sure you know, cards that take an entire turn cycle to come to fruition. So when you're relaying into relay or bobble into bobble or both, it can take 2, 3, 4 turns to actually result in a kill.
That is true.
And this is still quite potent.
Think of the Metalcraft, Tony. Think of the Metalcraft.
I mean, we just got ourselves a 7-card hand with 3 mana in play and Metalcraft after getting double discarded and with a Voidwalker in play.
Okay. Gamble a bunch of mana. I don't know why I did it there, but I did. They have an Urborg.
F6 value.
Maybe your opponent wants to sack their Dothy so they can relay.
Red zone prevention. Ooh.
Okay.
2, 4, 5. We can frontside that Echo and crack LED with the Echo on the stack. And then we're probably just in business. I heard you like businesses.
Yeah, big fan. Small, large, whatever you got.
Wait!
What?
I wouldn't play that.
Why?
There's no reason to, and we have 2 cards that care about it. 2.
Oh,
Birgi
Birgi.
and
Okay,
Stoker.
yep, my bad.
And Stoker.
Fair. What
Yeah,
color?
we
We're cracking the LED for red, right?
Yeah.
Very fair. I was wrong to play the bobble. I'm sorry. They're increasing our storm count. They're a big fan of
They're
storm.
casting an opposition agent? Oh, no. Okay.
So we can hardcast Echo again.
We can smashing and then just go off. Yeah, we could hardcast Echo, but then we don't have LEDs in our deck.
This is the best Shatter Skull smashing I think I've ever cast.
Did you just cast it for
Oh
one?
no! Oh no! Oh my god, Tony, I am so sorry. Oh my god. I can't believe I just did that. Alright, I take that back. That is not the best Shatter Skull smashing I've ever cast in my life. Oh no.
Can we salvage this?
I am so sorry.
I don't think we can.
Oh my god.
I don't think gamble. A gamble. No, because then we don't have. Then we only have a blue source. We have to pass. I would.
We know that they're a therapy deck, so I think we want to play out at least the LEDs.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. I almost stopped you because I saw you. I saw you doing it, and then I'm like, no, he's not gonna. And then it happened.
This is my first time playing Magic. I am so sorry. They're drawing grief, so we're definitely losing this Echo. So disappointed in myself right now. I am so sorry.
Well, we have a redraw incoming. We are definitely primed up to cast the frontside Echo if we draw one.
Yeah, there's only 2 left in the deck, though.
Yeah. Stoker looks pretty good.
Oh.
No, we're just dead.
Damn. I am so sorry.
It happens.
We definitely need these. I kind of like the idea of maybe that deck is too fast for Empty, but Empty does allow us to beat the Leyline to the Void, Dothy Voidwalker stuff.
Yeah, I'd be playing it.
I am so sorry. I feel really bad about that.
That's so good. Take we want to cut some number of Echo and Gamble. I just want to come down a bit on it, probably 1 each. Maybe a couple baubles, a couple Urza's bauble. I wouldn't take them all out. I can probably trim a Stoker and take another Gamble out.
Alright, let's try it.
You know, if you have the time, take another Gamble out and put the Stoker back in.
That's not letting me.
That's okay.
Alright, turn 1 Empty for 12.
With opposition agent, you know.
Alright, this is actually pretty darn good.
Yep.
In Before Sadness, the Void.
Well, it's still not even the worst if they do have it. It's potentially, depending on how the gamble goes, not great, but it's good that we have Stoker. We do either way want to make use of this gamble so we can play around opposition agent, whether they have Leyline or not. It's good that they're at least having to mulligan for it.
Yeah, so let's say they do have Leyline. What is the plan with a hand like this?
I would go land, Stoker, Pedal, gamble for LED.
Okay.
Just because we want LED is effectively 4 mana with Stoker, and Stoker's a good way to beat Leyline. And maybe we want to play out one Opal before gamble, but probably not.
No, because
No,
like
that doesn't make sense because we use Pedal. Okay, so they do have Leyline.
Stoker, Pedal, create that oil, gamble, discard the Echo, please.
That's fine. Now we could draw 4 here, but I don't think there's a compelling reason to. Worst case, if they do remove Stoker, we can then draw 4.
Scrubland. Brief pitching Cabal Therapy. Well, joke's on you, friend. We were going to discard this ourselves. Sure. Take a draw. So, Tony, we could Stoker here, but I don't think it's that good, and they're down to 1 card. How do you feel about us waiting?
Yeah, I like that.
I wonder if our opponent should have considered just waiting to reanimate the Grief a turn. I don't know, maybe not.
Potentially.
Draw. I'm down to wait again if you are.
Yeah, the good thing here is in the event that they go to remove Stoker, now we don't even have to use Lionshead Diamond.
True. I won't lie, I didn't realize you could do this at instant speed. That's much better than I thought.
Yeah, so you can like play Chrome Mox and then with it or the trigger on the stack, activate it. It comes up quite often.
Okay, so we're going to fall to 14 here. They still only have 1 card in hand.
Come on, LED, or I'll take a Berg.
I mean, are we doing it now or are we waiting?
I would go now.
Alright, so let's send some monkeys to the exile. We're going to cast Chrome Mox, holding priority.
We could imprint one. I mean, I see what we're doing here. It's kind of, on the upside that we have a card that we do want to imprint. Yeah, I guess there's not a huge downside unless we're passing and want to make use of the mana next turn, but the upside is just it's pretty low risk anyways.
Alright, so now we can tap the Opal.
You gonna make blue?
We'll make blue. With this on the stack, we'll use the Flamestoker.
We'll probably use 2 of the blue here.
We only needed to use 1.
Oh, right.
Empty the Warrens. So...
Can we do both here? We have a land drop, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hell yeah.
The last time I counted, Tony, I messed it up, so I don't think you should trust me.
7, 8.
We definitely have enough. So would you rather get the extra card or the extra goblins? I think extra goblins.
Yeah, I mean, 3, 8. Yeah, me too.
Relay for 3. Tony, would you believe I recorded a video earlier today? In the year 2023, I cast Empty the Warrens, and my opponent immediately untaps and slams Plague Engineer like it was the year 2018. I felt like I time traveled.
I mean, if there was a deck that was going to do it, this would be the one. However, they only have 1 card. 2 cards.
Land number 4. Uh-oh. Is this what I think it is?
Shouldered?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
I thought it was a helm. So, what's in our exile? A grape shot, a relay, and an empty. So we can grape shot for 1. Not great. Ideally, we would draw our Echoing Truth. I think that's probably our best draw.
Leave it to us to draw 3 storm spells on our relay for 3.
I mean, that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
Powder Keg.
Of course.
Alright, so... Wait, that was not... Okay.
Oh, nice. We have Birgi. That's so much better.
I don't know how that worked out that way. Okay. Oh, it's because the ley line changed the order.
Ooh. So hold hold on. We might not want Birgi here. Horn is gonna give us 2 cards every turn.
So we
Like,
could
what's
send
Birgi
4
really?
at Karn.
Ugh. Yeah, definitely send forward card. I mean, I would just do that.
All right, let's attack Karn, the great piece of trash.
Birgi Petal. I guess Birgi is pretty good here. They're still only on 1 card. We're killing Karn. We get to. It's a shame we have to play Petal, but
Okay, so we're sending 4 and 4.
so we're killing Grief.
I mean, I would play
Yeah, we
the
can play.
Birgi here, but you're the master, so I will do whatever you want.
I mean, we can still Grape Shot too. We're gonna be at 8. Let's Horn. So we can go Horn, Petal, Grape Shot, and we get to kill Grief.
Okay, red, we go to 8. Arnfell, Horn of Bounty, which also gives us Metalcraft. Lotus Petal. And shots. We have to send 1 at the Grief.
Yep.
1, and then 1 at them. So they'll take 2, the Grief will die, and they have a Powder Keg in hand.
Not all these decks are playing Karn. This one is.
Okay, so we just need to start off by attacking here, because if we give them information, it's just not something we want to do. Make them blow the keg now.
Yep.
All right. Actually, I should have floated a mana with you.
Tapped it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's alright. I would activate. If we find Stoker here, we want to play it.
What will happen is I'll hit the echo and we can't cast it.
It's possible.
Empty for 1?
Right. Yeah, do it.
I am not playing well tonight. Alright, pass the turn. Can these goblins go the distance? Land 5. Into the red zone. Are we discarding Tony?
I would do it.
I don't know if like it's better to wait for a turn where you can do multiple things or.
Ooh, well they get to recast it, but I would not play Ancient Tomb. Yeah,
prevents a top decked Helm from just winning the game on the spot.
Yep, they have to take a turn off and recast this. Oh no, there's not double black there. So they casting
Arena Recta, which blocks fairly well. This is the Hank the Obese deck from the showcase.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's see 2 good ones. We could in theory echo here.
Bubble's fine.
I mean, we could play the Shatter Skull as an extra red source.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
And then just pass the turn.
Yep.
Let's look at their top card. Plague Engineer.
Uh-oh.
That's not annoying.
Maybe they'll shuffle because they want to thin and they don't want to. Come on.
Okay. I mean, we know that they have Plague Engineer now.
Yeah.
Ouch. Alright, so we do get to draw 2 cards this turn, which means that it's possible that we hit Echo and then just, go wild. Alright, start off by discarding the Urza's Bauble. Empty. Well, empty unfortunately doesn't do a whole lot here. Would you discard the Birgi? Are we playing Birgi? What's the deal?
We have to pay 2 to play it. I would discard it. I think we have to high roll here.
First only we're at 5 with double Ancient Tomb in play, and they have 3 power.
Right.
Echoing Truth.
Echoing Truth and redraw with Bauble.
We also get to relay for a couple. Actually, no, we don't. We don't, because we go to 1, and then the Arena Rector kills us.
You're right. 3. Yep, we just gotta bounce. Which one do we want to bounce?
Arena
Plague
Rector?
Engineer? Or Arena Rector?
Cost 4. I guess if we bounce the... It pays more damage to bounce the Plague Engineer? I don't know, man.
It doesn't matter, just, yeah.
Bobble them. Grief. The Grief does represent lethal next turn, if they choose to hardcast it. I think the right move for them is actually to just replay Leyline of the Void, though. And they're going for lethal instead.
Yeah, if we draw Echo,
We're very much in this.
uh,
Bobble.
oh baby.
Alright, I'm gonna discard the relay first, just in case our opponent has surgical, you're not like playing into it. Should I Red a Flame?
Yeah, you might as well.
Alright, discard the
Sometimes they miss
Echo.
it on the activation and then still actually have it.
Should I play the
So
Flamestoker now?
I would.
Alright, we go to 2. Flashback the Echo floating a red. Clearly, they should have named Phyrexian with their Plague Engineer twice. Alright, so
Nice.
discard empty, discard bauble. We're just digging for grape shot. Discard city.
Sure. Discard Chromox. I would hold on to the Echoing Truth for now. Discarding Rite of Flame is close to free.
Nothing quite yet. It's making me a little bit nervous. There's a gamble. We could gamble for.
There's
There's grape
Grapeshot.
shot. Okay, so we can just cast our spells.
You can get Birgi in there, play zeros.
Okay. The Bergmeister. Cast. Is it implied that Birgi's a liar? Like god of storytelling? Like, I don't know.
Like, oh yeah, she tells stories.
Exactly. Like, it doesn't say like Birgi god of telling truths.
No, I think it's more so she creates such epic experiences that I think it's more so like she tells a mean story.
So they're not nice stories.
Like tell me a story, Birgi. You could put it that way.
Okay. Like the kind of stories that make kids like not go to bed at night, those kind of stories. Like a mean
Yeah.
story.
Look at that weird look she's given. And, you know, she's got her hands up in a weird way too.
Do we change our sideboarding plan knowing our opponent is on Plague Engineer with 4 empty?
Oh, it's a good question. There's just so much ley line of the void effects that it might be a necessary evil for the matchup, at least in some capacity. I mean, the alternative, I would put the Flamestoker back in for
That
sure.
was my suggestion. I'd probably cut a bobble.
Uh, you were gonna suggest remaining on 4 empty?
I would, yeah. Like, I think that their primary game plan is to helm you, so you can't rely on Echo Gamble. And then, how many like Plague Engineers do you think they have? Like 2? Like, let's just hope that they don't draw them.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also just like
Okay.
board out Echo number 3, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say cut one more Echo.
Okay, do it. We need to win this one, so that way I won't feel as bad if my punt in game 1 cost us. Keep. Keep, 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 keep,
Oh, yeah.
keep.
4, 1, 2, 3. We're 1 mana away from being able to Birgi before empty.
Opponent with a very fast mulligan to 5. Well, Tony, after seeing what our opponent's playing, I'd like them to mulligan to 2. I'm just going to say it.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but whenever someone plays a Cabal Therapy against me, I'd say 90% of the time in the dark the name Lions Eye Diamond. Is that a shared experience for you?
Oh yeah.
They have selected 5 cards. Opponent, do you have pregame effects? No. No Leyline of the Void.
All right, they're sure to have some discard.
Pitching Agadeem's Awakening. Wonder what they
Only
take
2
here.
cards left.
So this is like the Reanimate Ephemerate deck, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's another Grief this turn. If there's 2 Griefs, I like taking both action spells. If there's only one, I don't know what the right pick is.
Probably depends how many Plague Engineer they have too. How many does Hank's list play? Do you know?
I don't have it up in front of me. I will start looking while our opponent does this to us. Feel very violated. Oh, our opponent took empty and they're passing. I couldn't find Hanks in time. Flamestoker.
Ooh. So, hold on.
We could go Rite of Flame, Flamestoker, Rite of Flame, Birgi, Opal, Diamond.
It's either that or Rite of Flame, Birgi, Opal, Stoker.
I mean, isn't
LED. Which one results in more? So if you say Rite of Flame Stoker, right?
correct?
And then Rite of Flame Birgi, that's 1, 2, 3 oil counters, Rite of Flame Birgi, and 2 Birgi triggers. And an opal 2, so that's 3 mana plus LED and 3, so 3, 3, 3. Whereas we go Rite of Flame, Birgi, Stoker's free, then 2, 3. It's 4 mana. I guess they're the same. There's one less. So whatever.
Okay.
Either way,
Whoops, not blue.
one way gives us 1 more mana and 1 less oil counter. I think if I counted it right, which is entirely possible that I didn't, because there's way too much to account for.
It's fine. It's only like 11 at night, and we only have 3 more matches to play, Tony. We'll play perfectly. Don't worry about it.
We always do.
That's
Always.
what people say about me. I always play perfectly. Alright, triggers. Opal.
Yeah, I already counted wrong.
So,
I don't know, I didn't.
we have 5, so we could use this right now. We'd have 1 mana left.
I would do it. 4 cards with a Birgi is real nice.
I'm not going to float blue, just because I want to make sure I can cast cards.
Talk about rolling low. Holy shit, man.
Shh. Language. Are we supposed to group shot them for 7, or do we hold the opal for empty?
I would hold it.
That was bad.
Real bad. It. None of these really would have been good draws. I guess empty could have been okay.
Alright, they're on 3 cards. They're not really doing a whole lot right here. At least the Bergmeister can get in the red zone.
Yeah, that doesn't
1
do
mana
anything
short.
yet. Can you imagine if we drew a Rite of Flame?
No, I can't imagine that. I'm sorry.
You can't even imagine it. That's how insane it is.
How many times in your Ruby life have you attacked an opponent to death with Birgi God of Storytelling?
Many times. I think it was in the challenge win that I had. I had one that I went coast to coast against 8 cast when they had me locked out with Chalai.
Is that
Like
the plural?
Yeah, yeah. It was one of those moments where we stopped, we thought for like 60 seconds and came to the conclusion that we literally have no outs unless they draw nothing, and we kill them with Birgi. It was from like 17 or 18, and then they just didn't do anything. They probably drew some zeros because they had a chalice on 0, but it was glorious. You can find that on my YouTube.
Dark
BT
Ritual
dubs.
from the opponent. Dark Ritual. This is pretty scary.
Whoa.
Karn, the great piece of trash.
I mean,
Tony, I have a confession for you. I think everyone that plays this card is a garbage person. It's just a fact. I don't make up the rules.
yeah, I mean, I thought you were going to talk about some sort of opinion that you had, and then you just stated something that's in the books.
It's like just universally true. Chalice of the Void.
Yeah. Ew. Doesn't cast it. Well done. I like it.
So we can just send the Birgi at the Karn. Oh, they've changed their
come
mind.
on.
They have 1 card in hand. Ooh, that was a good one.
Yes.
That was a good
Real
one.
good.
Get out of here, piece of trash, Karn. No one likes you.
So 3, 4, 5. So we can even grape shot in front of this empty. And then we still have an empty in hand, which could be relevant.
They should let this resolve so that way I have to legend roll. Okay, so now we grape shot, which generates 1 mana off the Birgi trigger. And then we can empty. They go to 13, and we're still just short of lethal on the following turn. So we'll get 8 goblins here, and 3 from Birgi, which is 11. So we're 2 damage short.
They only have 1 card. They have a total of 4 game pieces. We have 9, 12, 13. Correct.
Ancient Tomb. Okay, not Plague Engineer.
Now Ancient Tomb does nothing. Actual nothing.
Swing better.
I would probably just cast this relay. I don't think it's going to matter, but I think it is technically correct to just get it out there.
Yes, sir. Singing Spirit Guide. I mean,
that's a 2/2.
That's a beater. They're at 2 life.
It's a lethal attacker.
Tony, to jinx this right now, with our opponent having 2 cards in hand and they can't use their Ancient Chimps, I'm going to say it now. It looks like my error in game 1 of not knowing how to cast Shatter Skull Smashing did not come back to bite us in the butt.
Didn't matter.
Had it the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Karn misclick, lost it there. Good games. Oh, what? They didn't mean to get Chalice? I guess that makes sense. They have a sweeper. However, we did have another empty. I think we are still heavily favored, even if they got the sweeper.
Yeah, I would agree there. All right, well,
easiest match of my life.
Yeah, clearly. Both of these matches have taken forever, by the way. Like, you were like, hey, Bryant, you want to play this, like, hyper fast efficient, the Epic Gamble list that I have? And I was like, sure, we'll start late. Not a big deal. 2 matches, 45 minutes each. No big deal. All right, but we're
9.5 million triggers later.
2-0. All right, let's just finish this with a 5-0. All right, 3 matches left. Want early access to articles at theepicstorm.com? Become a member of our Patreon to get articles 7 days early, on top of other sweet benefits, and help us pay our website team. You can sign up at patreon.com/theepicstorm. Alright, we're back for match number 3. TonyScapone is still here with me. I don't know why with how terribly I've been playing. And Tony, not gonna let you tell me no, mulliganing.
Yep.
This hand is capable of a turn 1 relay. You have to bottom a bauble, but I think that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
Alright, so Storm 1, Chrome Monks. Imprint the Shatter Skull Smashing. Lion's Eye Diamond.
And viewers might be thinking, well, if you keep the bauble, it's basically 2 cards for relay, which is true and is very strong, but Lion's Eye Diamond is on average worth more than 2 cards even.
I would agree with that.
Especially when it's actual Black Lotus, thanks to relay.
Lotus Petal. Rite of Flame, Grape Shot, Simian Spirit Guide. It looks like we might be hardcasting a monkey.
We might.
Edge of Autumn, so I think there's a pretty good chance that we're facing Doomsday. Doomsday not in the matchups that I want to face. Pretty much ever.
Maybe they'll cast Doomsday twice in 1 turn and pass, and then we can grape shot them.
I'll message them in the chat to see if they'll do it. Alright, Underground Sea. Not a big fan of this one. I don't know, a little slimy looking. Draw off the bauble. Stoker. Okay, I see you, Doc. I see you. Stoker. That was actually a very good draw.
Let's get stoked. You can never quite tell if they're reading or thinking about countering it.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah.
One thing that has always bothered me about Magic players is will like try to belittle people for reading cards, like, oh, we've got a reader over here. Like, yeah, you're playing this like piece of garbage card. Of course I have to read it. Like, I don't know. I'm not supposed to like memorize all 5,000 cards that come out per year these days.
No, I mean, this game isn't complicated or anything.
Yeah. Lotus Petal. Maybe we'll just get to double Grape Shot for 10 each. Rite of Flame. I think we should sit on the Grape Shot rather than cast it just to add an oil counter.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Now, the real question is...
Do I add red with this diamond?
Do we want to use both of these?
Well, I like leaving 1 back in case we draw Echo.
4, 6, 3... Yeah.
And I think we're supposed to leave or crack this for red instead of blue, but...
Yes.
Okay, Flame Stoker. Well, that's pretty darn good. So I think we're supposed to relay into Echo.
We just got to be careful about Grape Shot. only having 2 in the deck sometimes. Well, you think they have just nothing? Have we tested them already on? We haven't really.
Like,
It's
if they
just
have a
been
force here
Stoker.
and you just echo, you're done. But if you
No, I'm not
relay,
saying just Echo.
well, that's why I want to relay first.
Yeah, we're definitely relaying. I'm just saying if they counter Echo, our Grape Shot gets exiled. Although we still have one more.
Opal, Flamesoaker, Spirit Guide, Shatterskull, Spirit Guide, Ancient Tomb, Birgi. Birgi, that could have been better. Alright, let's spin the wheel. All 3 of our Spirit Guides are in
Wow.
exile, so they had nothing. From 10. Righty Flame. From 11.
I think I would go 1 Stoker and then
LED. And then we can gamble for another LED.
No. Play Bobble. We're going for Echo, right?
Oh. Oh, I guess so.
Although
I thought we were pretty close to just like natural grape shot and then use the
yeah,
stoker. Like that's why I wanted to go get LED.
it could be. I mean, we're definitely close, and this still plays into Days Force, but let's go
Are we doing Echo or are we doing LED?
on a 50-50, but I would rather just go for Echo.
Alright. Track for 3 blue. Spin the wheel. From 16. No way. That just resolved?
Yeah. They're not always really even playing Days.
Well, like most of us
They
play
don't
like
play.
1 nowadays. So it's like 1 days
Yeah.
for a force. I cannot
Now
believe that they just
now
had nothing. I guess maybe I'm supposed to play the Ancient Tomb before playing the pedal in case they do have days on this.
it doesn't matter. We're fine with it. You just have more than enough to wind up grape shotting them.
Okay. Diamond. And then crack for red. Everybody loves shots. Click, click, boom.
Shots. I'm excited about the grapes.
Alright, we've taken game number 1 from Doomsday with minimal play errors. Alright, so I think that this is a match where we probably want defense grid. They are an 8-4
Yeah.
stack post board. I don't think we want anything else. I mean, empty could be fine, but they can just win very quickly as well.
Yeah, I don't want empty. What do we want to take out? Probably a few baubles. Probably just literally 3 baubles. Call it a day.
In matchups where your opponents don't have creatures, do you ever board out Shatterskulls?
No, the initial red source is just too important.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost purely incidental that it can target creatures. Interesting. Oh, this hand is so good if we draw a soul land.
Mm, I don't know, man. I think we're supposed to mulligan this.
Stoker redraws.
Like they
Bad
are.
against Thoughtseize.
So they're a multiple 4 stack post board, and on top of that, they have like 4 to 6 discard depending on the list.
Yeah, I mean this hand isn't particularly bad against Force of Wills, but it's not great against a fast hand from them, and it's not great against Thoughtseize. It's not the worst against Duress. It's also really bad mulliganing against the discard fast combo deck with Force of Will.
I'm aware.
Doomsday's
Yeah,
we'll just
it
throw
sucks.
that
But
out
also,
there.
quit swearing, please. I think we
I'm
should
sorry.
mulligan. But what do you want to do?
Sure. Mulligan.
Already better. I think we bottom City of Traders.
Yep.
We have our one of Urza's Bobble. Couldn't have drawn it up any better. So, are we firing off the Bobble on turn 1? Like, let's say that we just like draw a random card that isn't great. Do you fire this off or do you sit on it?
I would wind up firing it off in most cases here. Ooh.
Interesting.
1, 2, 3.
Could have a turn 1 Bergmeister. So we play the Birgi,
Yeah.
play 2 of these, we make red. Gamble for Echo.
Can't get Hellbent. It's funny that Petal would have been better as a Chrome Mox. I'm almost inclined to just play Smashing,
Pass.
Tapped, but I would play Bobble. I know we're trying to get Hellbent, but there's a lot of really good cards in our deck that we would rather have. There are ways that this bites us, but I think on average this is going to be the better play.
You know, when they talk about the Epic Gamble, the blazing fast turn 1 combo deck in Legacy, you don't imagine turn 1 tap land Urza's Bauble. They do not shuffle off Ponder. And they're passing. So it looks like they kept an interaction heavy hand. Cavern of Souls. We'll draw off the Bauble. So here's a question. Do you play the pedal out to beat their One of Days? I don't think we do, but I'm going to ask.
Well, what I always do in these spots is I say, if we play pedal and then I play out the sequence, and if it's only marginally worse than if we don't, then it's usually correct to do so. So if we play pedal here, and then we play Birgi, then we have pedal, bauble, total of, pedal, stoker, bauble, total of 3 mana, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to gamble, and then we're still playing into days. So we might as well just play into days with Birgi. If that were 1 mana better, I would say play around days, because you actually are playing around it.
The Bergmeister on the stack, and she resolves. Play out Lotus Petal. This creates a red mana, and then we'll play the Flamestoker. So vindictive. Replaces itself as well. Pretty good.
Yep.
How often do, like, in your experience, do Doomsday players board a Mystical Dispute against you?
I don't really see the card, like, at all, so not often.
Okay. That was a genuine question. Like, I just don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, the Bergmeister making tons of mana. And we will cast Red Entomb. Unless they're going to counter this.
One of my favorite things about Stoker is how they made yet another card that allows 0 drops to be reduced in mana cost, virtually, effectively.
And here we see a Flusta Storm.
So usually this is not a great thing to do, but it sometimes makes sense, right? If we, well, I guess here I'm not so sure it does. But like sometimes if you can get an echo and then pass and then draw into permission or some sort of defensive measure, like we could draw 4, right, and then wind up casting a grid, and then their Fluster Storm doesn't do anything.
Yeah, like I would have waited for the echo there personally.
Right. I think there it was not right to fluster the
that was pretty darn good.
Oh man.
Come on. Tony, I never get to 2 Doomsday. Surgical on Flamestoker. A little surprised they even boarded that in. I guess that you're the LED Echo deck.
Yeah, it's good against us. It's rare that it's gonna nab an Echo when it matters, but it comes up sometimes, and it's really good at just hitting Lion's Eye Diamond, which just makes the deck a lot worse. Even if they countered this, which obviously would be really bad for us, we still have multiple draws off a Bauble, like, and it didn't get countered, so...
Casual 11 cards off Relay.
No big deal.
And their upkeep, we will Bauble. We know that they have a Cavern in hand. Ooh, Brainstorm is a very good draw for them here.
Yeah.
So it's good for 2 reasons.
Look with this Bauble?
Sure. Brainstorm's really good for 2 reasons. One, it can fix your hand if it's terrible. And it looks like that might be the case for them here. The second thing is, if you already have Doomsday in hand, it just allows you to win on the spot.
Yep.
Tony, not to brag too much, but I have a recent 5-0 on Doomsday. So you could say I'm a master. I'm probably just as good at Doomsday as I am at the Epic Gamble.
That's how it works. I was trophy leader one season, so one time I was the best player in the world.
Yeah, that's how that goes. Have you never read like anything on the internet? Trophy leader is everything.
I'm currently the 4th best player in the world.
It's true if we come back here and look. 4th best player in the world, right there. Tony Mother Effin Scapone.
I was expecting you to say, well, what happened? He used to be the best.
Yeah, I mean, clearly 3 other people showed that they were better than you.
Oh god. Are we Okay. This
Mir-
is desperation. I mean,
Yeah,
they can certainly get there, but it is desperation.
they put 2 back. So even if it was Dark Ritual Doomsday Cycler, that doesn't win. They cannot have a win here.
Dark Ritual, Doomsday. Oh yeah, you're right. So they would need a mana or another card.
Yeah. The last list that I was playing was Max Carini's list. You may know Max is Wonder Pro, and Max was actually telling me that Consider is not that good. And the list that I played, Max cut the Considers. He's like, it's just like not very good. Like, yeah, it lets you get to your Doomsday power pretty quickly, but the deck's like really weak to Chalice of the Void on one. So going back to something like Ideas Unbound would end up being a lot better. And when you're bad
Yeah.
like me, it makes winning with Doomsday easier.
I mean, it's good with deep analysis, but that's not really good. So,
Yeah, a lot of people have moved past deep analysis. Let's start off with a grid. Tony, have you ever seen The Dark Knight, the movie from 2008?
yes, actually.
Okay. Well, there's a line in the beginning of the movie where they're robbing a bank, and the bank teller has a shotgun, and he's shooting at the jokers or whatever, and he says, "You and your little friends are dead." I think that all the time whenever I'm about to kill someone. It's just the truth. I'm not making this up. I think about that all the time, but no one would like it's such an obscure reference, like I don't think people would know what I'm talking about.
I do. I haven't like religiously watched the Batman movies, but that one I did see. I think I saw it in theaters, and I really enjoyed it.
At the time I was a high schooler working at Wendy's, and without notice I just got up and left to go see it in theaters. I was just like, yeah, I don't care about this job. I'm going to go see Batman. Still a big Batman fan to this day. Obviously, you can't see it in my videos or whatever, but I have 2 bookshelves that way. One of them is full of Image comics, and the other is completely full of Batman family comics.
Nice. I would just play out. Well, oh, never mind. Yeah. Keep activating.
You know, I once was doing this video with this guy who scorned me for not discarding everything to Horn first, so just
You
trying to
didn't
make him
even you
proud.
didn't even do that. You played out a pedal. I considered scorning you.
Mm, I missed it. I was too busy talking about Batman. I mean, this game's
Right.
over. I don't know what our opponent's
Yeah.
doing here.
It doesn't matter. A fast way to do this is just hold control and just freaking click and just get rid of all these. And then they'll often scoop once they see like 40 cards in exile, because 20 cards is not scary enough. You need to get to 40.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can just yield and they just go pew pew pew.
Is that the noise that Horn makes? Pew pew pew.
Pew 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 pew. Or yeah, pew pew.
I feel like you doing the air horn there is very Pat Uglow of you.
Yes. When I included the sound effect on my soundboard for streaming, when I first put it in there, and every time I hit the button, I think of Pat Ugolo doing it.
Yeah, Pat's a great dude. Miss leaving a
He
legacy.
is.
I only
Fun
became a
fact.
podcaster because of they had me on so many times, and after one of them, Pat was like, "You should just do this yourself."
There we go. Fun fact, I sold him a car.
Nice.
He does live, another fun fact, he lives like 15 minutes from me.
So since we're talking about buying cars and Magic the Gathering, I
Right,
bought
just
a
kill
new
them. Keep talking, but kill it. You have a grape shot.
No,
In
I'm going to
exile.
exile the rest of my. We talked about this, Tony. They need to see 40 cards in exile. I don't know why you're chickening out now.
I think
Um,
we have 40 cards.
um, so when I bought my new car, and I say new car, but my car still has less than 25,000 miles on it. But I bought it in 2018, and I bought it. It was a year used then. But the person that was selling me the car was like, "You look familiar. Do you play Magic the Gathering?" And I was like, "Yes." And they're just like, "Who's your commander?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't play commander. I didn't at the time. I do now, but I thought it was really funny that they're just like, you play Magic, you must play Commander."
Ooh. No, that's a cool format. Listen, I played EDH when it came out,
So did I.
or like back in 2000. what, 8 or 9 or whatever.
All right, Tony. So we
All
have not
right.
lost a match yet. We just 2-0 Doomsday. How do you feel about that?
So easy.
You heard it here.
It's
Easy.
par for the course. No big deal.
25 O's every time. He's just that good. All right, match 4 coming up. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Okay,
Fellow Anthony.
Yes, exactly. TonyScapone versus Anthony Laverde, who is a former writer of theepicstorm.com. That said, Anthony is doing bigger and better things these days, has their own podcast, Accumulated Nonsense, and has been doing a lot of work on Cephalid Breakfast with Orin's Chant in it. Here we have a hand that doesn't really do the thing, so Tony, mulligan.
Mm-hmm. Ew.
5. So we do have a Trim Echo.
Potentially.
I think we bottom this.
No,
So you would bottom the Flamestoker
bottom
instead.
Smoker.
Okay, because
to give us...
if you high rolled, you could Flamestoker into Echo, which is why, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Tony is on 6 cards. Bright Flame, Gamble, Lion's Eye Diamond.
Hey.
And I think we just leave the red floating.
Yeah.
No need to gamble again. See, we could have had a Flamestoker there.
All right, we're in it.
But
Ooh,
we
so
are mana
close.
short of the relay.
So, is there a way?
If we go get
There's
Chromox.
not a way.
So if we go get Chromox, and then, or actually,
Yes,
I think we
there
want to
is a
get
way.
Lotus Petal.
We'd have to play out Opal, and it would also have to not hit relay. I don't know about that.
So
let's see. What are the odds? So you have to play or you have to play Bobble and Opal.
correct. I think it's the
Gamble,
line.
and then 1, 2, 3. It's a 50-50. Yeah, sure.
Wait, you're not feeling like the odds are in your favor?
It's we drew kind of a poopy redraw, but mulled to 5, so
Had it the whole time.
Entire time. No big deal.
So Tony, I'm gonna say this now and ruin it for the rest of the league. Typically,
I know
whenever
what
I
you're gonna
cast the
say.
card Gamble, it is Red Entomb. It has not happened once yet so far. We are high rolling. Other than our Vindictive Flamestokers, like...
I thought you were going to jinx even further and say something along the lines of maybe we're 8-0 or past 8 matches together.
I mean, that's true too. But, I mean, we're facing Anthony Laverde here. Tough opponent. I think we're supposed to fire off the Bobble. There's plenty of artifacts in exile. Retrofitter Foundry. Tundra. Nomads. Okay, we get a window here. We need to not miss the window. That was a good draw. So I think we start with the city.
So we let's see.
I think we go. Tony's list doesn't play days, so I think we play Birgi.
Okay.
Okay, and now we will play literally just like anything to trigger a red for this Flamestoker. Vindictive Flamestoker. So both Tonys in this game, the one on the call and the one not in the call, are both from the same area of the country, which is just outside of Boston. And if you've watched this channel for a while, you know that I just love doing really bad Boston accents, and that starts from Anthony Laverde in voice calls, just like always doing them, and then me trying to imitate them, but very poorly. So I think we play enough artifacts here to trigger the Flamestoker, but not enough so that we go over, if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
Like, we don't want to get Flamestoker up to 7 or whatever. I think we just want to crack it once we get to 6.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we draw into another Flamestoker, we want those resources. And what's nice here is we can actually hardcast the Echo as well. We have so much mana.
Well, it's good you're being efficient about this. You know, there was one time in one of the games at some point in this league where you cast one spell and lost that efficiency. Make sure if you're watching, you find that spot and put it in the comments.
I'll never forgive you. I think that here we should just gamble for another grape shot and then try to double grape shot. I mean, the odds are in our
Uh,
favor. I'm not gonna let you
you want to
stop me.
gamble for grape shot? Is that what you said?
Yeah, why not?
Why? I mean, at least cast the other grape shot first, so you have a 2/3 chance instead of
Fine.
50-50.
Fine.
I mean, we're not guaranteed to. Well, we do have a front and backside echo,
Yeah,
but
exactly. The world is our
I would
oyster, and we already discussed that my gambles have turned their luck around, and they will never fail me ever again. So,
getting the other Birgi would also be. Well, yeah, I guess at this point you might as well get grape shot.
grab my former favorite card before relay. Ah, I jinxed it. It
Ooh.
happened. I ruined it. It looks like they have hit the F6 key. Let's not cast that. Let's tap this for mana instead. I shouldn't have opened up my mouth, Tony. I ruined it. This is why you can't take me places. Alright, Echo on the stack, Storm 14. Oh, that's pretty good. Alright, so let's cast Hornfell. Triggers the Birgi. Does this resolve? Alright, it did not resolve. Which is Narcomoeba. Play a diamond.
I'm gonna say play a monkey.
I don't think we... You really think that's relevant? I don't know.
No, it doesn't matter.
So here's another thought. Should we just play the Chromox and imprint the Rite of Flame so that way our threat density is higher for when we echo?
Yes.
Okay. Play the pedal. Now we flashback echo. Storm 20. Echo's on the stack. Okay, well we have two gambles here, and there's two grape shots in our deck. Do you believe?
I believe.
If this fails, this is like that Pro Tour with
Like force
Dragonstorm,
gamble.
like you know what I'm talking about, where like the incredibly like unpredictable, like mathematically it like shouldn't have happened, but it did, and it wasn't lethal. You don't know what I'm talking about. It's fine. It's like Pat Chapin Pat Chapin versus Yellow Hat.
Yeah. Ignite memories
Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
All right. Do we board in Leyline versus Breakfast?
I'd say so. I'd say so. Yeah. Well, we got to bring in grids too, huh?
Yeah, because Anthony plays Arms Chant, so we definitely want that.
Hmm.
I think we start off with the classic board out Urza's Bobble. We start there.
Yep. They're gonna be bringing in pending. I want to say Stoker is worse than usual, so you can trim probably two of those. Honestly, like we want reasonable access to it if we start wheeling.
Shatter Skull Smashing.
I mean they are Days deck,
Anthony's list does
so
not
I
have
don't.
days.
Oh.
Anthony's
Oh.
playing the Staff of the Storyteller, Retrofitter
Oh
Foundry
right.
build.
You want to get rid of Shatter Skull Smashing.
I do. It is literally just red card that imprints the Chromox or land drop.
Yeah, it's a land.
Okay. It's a fast matchup. Hitting your land drops doesn't matter as much, but you're the doctor.
Hitting, yeah, but hitting one in your opener, like actually having a red source in the opener is really. I would probably just an opal. This is
What?
probably the least consistent card.
You're okay, now you're actually hurting my feelings. I don't think it's Opal. But we'll follow your instructions. You're the 5-0 king. You're the fourth best player in the world. We'll listen to you.
Yeah, these are facts.
Okay, I would
Well,
never
we've
board out Opal 4 here. Ever.
well we have 4 ley lines in our deck, which makes our deck kind of inconsistent.
I think we keep this.
Yeah.
Island. 6 cards in hand. Ooh. What are we imprinting the grape shot?
I would, yeah.
Okay. Galvanic Relay for 5.
And here we have the classic, and this is what I was talking about when I was talking about prerequisite cards, right? Like grid and relay. And this is a tension that I'm not unfamiliar with, even with classic Epic Gamble. But
That was a very good relay, by the way.
grid wants you to play spells first to get it into play, and you want grid into play before you relay. But the same thing on the other side, if we relay, it puts a lot of pressure on our relay. Although, yes, we hit a pretty good relay, so...
Cephalid Illusionist. Polluted Delta. How often have you hardcast a Leyline of the Void?
Not too often, but it comes up.
There's a card I'm very
It,
afraid of here. Let's hope Tony doesn't have it. Birgi, Leyline. So I think we start off by playing our land. So we're in a weird spot here because I think we want to play Defense Grid. If it gets countered, we have to worry about LED being countered. We could start on Vindictive Flamestoker.
3. So if we went grid, then we went Stoker, LED, Rite of Flame. That's not enough to get Birgi out there. So obviously, most efficient play is playing Birgi, but if it gets countered, we're really in trouble.
Yeah.
How true is that, though? I'm not sure how true that is.
So
if we play Birgi and they counter it, then we still get to play LED. And sure, if they counter it and they have 2 counters, like whatever. If they have 2 counters, any of our lines are just going to get kind of over. I'm sorry. I know YouTube is cracking down on that. I keep slipping up with swears. But even after all that settles, like the rest of our hand is grid and gamble with artifacts in place. So we're going to have an Echo like down the pipeline. They have, what, an Illusionist, so we are worried about dying, which is always the case against them because Cephalid Breakfast is bull crap. But I like, since, things go wrong, even if we go grid first, I like just going with the highest upside and going for Birgi. If they played Days, I wouldn't say so, but you're saying he doesn't play Days.
There's no Days.
Yeah, they're going to Snap Force. And again, if there's a second counter here, that's really bad, but yeah, now we can go Rite of Flame. So now, do we just want to get our value and play Stoker? Do we want to play Grid?
So we know that
I think
we know that Tony has an Illusionist in hand.
Yeah.
So
do we think they have no...
I don't think you're allowed to just pass.
Okay. Yeah, then play Stoker, gamble, and spin the wheel. I mean, yeah, they snapped that force and then just let LED go without even like thinking about it. So it would actually surprise me quite a bit if they had nothing. Or if they had anything.
Alright, spin that wheel. Storm is 7.
Sweet.
This was actually very good for us. Pitch will play another Flamestoker. Pitch. Rite of Flame. Rite of Flame.
Oh man, that one resolved.
That will bobble. So this Flamestoker will cost 2, unfortunately. Okay.
I love how sad you get when it doesn't cost 1.
Yeah, I mean, it should just always cost 1. Oh my, that was very good. Okay.
Ooh. Well, we can't Berg first, but it's still
I think
fine.
Berg is being pitched at Chromox here.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have let on the LED, actually. Because this says, like, force me on it.
This one's going to cost 1, Bryant.
So, I don't think we're supposed to crack the LED. I think that we just want to keep it up for Echo.
We will have 2 mana, so yeah. Yeah, that's...
I mean, if this goes very poorly, we could also just hard cast the Leyline, but I don't really want to do that. That could have been better. So let's just talk this through. I can play Birgi here, and then we can hardcast Leyline pass with a bunch of baubles. I'm not joking. I think that's probably the best line here.
Yeah, I agree.
The Bergmeister. Another force. We cannot play the Leyline, by the way.
Nope. We gotta hope we're not dead.
Okay.
We have a lot of velocity going into next turn, but that's if we can go into next turn.
Prismatic Endings. That's probably going to hit the diamond. Urza's Saga.
Now, there's a question. Do we want to activate LED? Stop. Or on F6 if you're F6.
I'm not.
Because we're drawing 4 cards. How much do we care about this Ancient Tomb versus how much do we care about having an LED in our deck?
That's a question for someone better at this deck than me, but we have a guaranteed 2 mana, where this is hypothetical mana later.
Yeah.
I would probably let it go, but it's your call.
Yeah, let it go. I only say it because we're reasonably chanced to draw another land anyways. I mean, it's obviously a no-brainer when you have nothing in hand.
We have a Narcomoeba on top. Let's look at our own top card for science. Gamble. Big fan of science. All right, 4 cards.
We're not dead.
We are not dead. That was good. Okay,
Wow.
so I think here we can try to... Actually, I don't think that works. I was going to say we could play land, Rite of Flame, gamble, go get grid, but it's a 50-50 on discarding.
These Rite of Flames are huge. We could we could cast the Rite of Flame and then gamble for a blue source so that we can frontside it. Although then we can't backside it anyways.
We could gamble for Birgi, and then it doesn't matter what the flip happens.
What do you mean?
All right, so let's say we gamble for Birgi and we don't discard the Echo. That's fine because we're discarding Echo to the Birgi.
Yeah.
I think that's the line. Oh, if I discard the Birgi, though, it's bad.
Yeah.
Also,
and
do
now
we
we're
not have a
really
Birgi in here?
spot because we're not.
We don't have a Birgi.
We don't. We're not Hellbent either.
Birgi's
so...
underneath our Chrome Mox and our other ones in the graveyard. So do I just get Diamond? We know that they're drawing Narcomoeba and they didn't have a win last turn.
I think it's actually better to just get a Petal, because I'd rather just front-side it here.
Got away with one there.
There was a bad outcome, there was a medium outcome, and then there was a just rip it outcome, and we ripped it.
All right, Echo of Eons. Ooh.
For 6, so we can pay for it?
We can, in fact, pay for it.
Just barely.
So my only problem with this is we know that our opponent's not going to kill us next turn. And now we're giving them a new hand. So we could just pass and try again next turn with 2 open mana. But maybe that's just too greedy. Their top card is a Narcomoeba. But if they have like another Fluster or something, it gets bad, or another ending.
Well, Fluster they can't cast, but... Oh, you mean...
Next turn.
Oh, yeah. If you pass, you mean.
I think we should probably just pay it.
Yeah, just spin it.
Alright, Echo.
All 3 LEDs. Whoa.
So we can relay for a bunch, but... Well,
we can spin Echo, too.
Yeah. Should we try to gamble for grid?
Maybe. I would stop if you're gonna do that. Stop casting.
Well, we need a red source, so
yeah. Petal, gamble for grid. There's 17, 7 spells. We can also just why don't we do this? Do we have a land drop? No, right?
We just played an ancient, or yeah, we just played the Ancient Tomb.
Why don't we just threaten double Echo instead? So play Petal, Chrome Mox Imprint, Shattered Skull, and then gamble for Echo, and then if they don't have anything, we get to spin with a lot of mana. If they do, we get to Echo again.
Force it. Alright. Please no force. Hey.
Nice.
Okay. There's no mana in here. So we could play Grig Gamble for LED.
What does that do?
Allows us... Oh no, that Echo's on our graveyard. Ignore me.
Yeah.
Ignore me. Sorry about that.
I think we just have to relay and hope they
can't
kill us. Yeah, I think that's best.
So I don't want to talk about the other card that I said that is in their list that would wreck us here.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that people get upset when I don't say the card's name, so I'm going to wait until we're doing meaningful things on our turn. Assuming that we get a turn.
I mean, at least, we have cards in hand, and if they're doing that, they're not killing us. They're cantripping, that's good news.
Good sign, good sign. No whammies. Does not shuffle. Play a land. Alright, I'm willing to bet that Anthony has the card here. And here it is, Orm's Chant. Yep, this is what I was afraid of.
Yep.
That is why
Play
I did not want
Volcanic
to pass the
Island.
turn. Well, shouldn't we just play the Ancient Tomb?
Oh, yeah.
That is both of our grape shots in exile.
Is it? So that
We have
probably
7
does it.
minutes on clock. We should just go to the next one.
Yep.
We can't win this. Do we want to change anything?
I don't think so.
All right, submit. It is so much work building up to Tony Storm, by the way.
Nah.
All right, on the play. This doesn't... I mean, we could have turn 1 Birgi plus Bobble, but is that good enough?
We have a couple looks at LED or Gamble, and if we find it, we can double Echo. It's not terrible.
We're down
And I
to
like...
just under 7 minutes.
Yeah, I would keep it. Play City, Chromox, Imprint, play Birgi, and Opal. I mean, Bobble. And roll to 5.
They've gone to 5. What if we just go coast to coast with Birgi?
Could happen.
City, Chromox, Imprint the Simian, Birgi, Bobble, and then we'll pass.
I would like to find Lines of Diamond and Grid, please.
Flusterstorm. Grid is definitely a draw we want. It stops Orm's Chant and that Fluster. How do you feel about Echo 3 instead? Beat down. Brainstorm on the end step. Flooded Strand. They're passing. Sure. Yeah, have at it.
Ugh.
Alright, so they have 4 cards. We know one of them is Fluster.
Which, if we're not dead here, Gamble doesn't miss, and they don't counter Gamble.
It looks like we're
dead. We're looking dead.
Very dead. Okay, so it looks like, Tony, unfortunately, we're not going to 5-0.
That's all right. We're bound to lose at some point, right?
And they have it here. Yep. So the only way we could possibly win is if Dread Return or the Oracle were in their hand, but they wouldn't have made that move with the Cabal Therapy if that was the case, and there they both are. We can pick it up. Why isn't it letting me concede? There we go. All right, Tony, I'm sorry. We have lost a match. We're 3-1, but I have complete faith in us that we'll win match number 5.
Yeah.
With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The 5th and final match, we are facing Magic Dads, so multiple people. Or just one person that identifies as a plural. You never know. I don't think we keep this. So we could go Chromox and print Rite of Flame or the second Flame Stoker and then play a couple more spells, but it doesn't get you there. And I think you're better off just leveraging the London Mulligan into LED Echo.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, you're still just like a couple mana off.
Yeah, sure.
This was closer, but I think you should just send it back. This is the same hand. Come on, deck. This is a 4. I think we go to 3.
Yeah, we got it. No.
What?
We have LED, Gamble, Red Source.
Oh, you're right. My bad. My bad. I didn't see the Gamble for some reason. My bad. Tony, I just loved a mulligan so much. That's really it. It's late. Forgive me.
It is late. I'm yawning over here.
Spin the wheel. I didn't I wouldn't have guessed that our first 2 matches would have been like 45 minutes each.
Right. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So we can play. What are you doing?
I want to go grab another LED.
Why? You had double Echo. You gotta actually try to play around Force of Will.
I mean, our opponent was F6. They're F6.
I didn't know that. But I would play things out and then just go for another echo, and then if they do force it, you have another echo.
Alright, so you want to grab another echo here?
Not at this point, no, because we don't have enough mana. That was pretty
LED.
good.
Okay. I think I actually want to keep the other LED around. Is that crazy?
Then I would make blue with the opal and red with the LED. 4, 7, 4.
Okay.
Ooh.
So now we can play Birgi into Flamestoker into everything.
Yep.
Flamestoker. Stoking the flames. Okay. Right, a flame. And then we'll gamble for the third echo. Tony, remember that time we mulliganed to 4?
Yeah.
Alright, grab echo number 3. Don't ask me the order, I don't care.
Well, it tells us they're on Reanimator.
Does it?
Yeah, it tells us they're running Shallow Grave.
Interesting, I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what that indicated.
Yeah. Okay, we could deck ourselves if we wanted to.
I'm definitely into that. If you want to deck, like, we can do that. So
It's kind of sad that we have to cast one of these relays, or we don't have to, but I think it would be irresponsible not to. I would imprint one of the relays and then cast a smashing.
why are we? I'd rather draw, like, if we echo, and then I'd rather draw a relay than a smashing, right?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. It gets one more storm by casting smashing, but we don't really
So are we
necessarily
really?
need one more storm.
So I guess we can't win if we hit both grape shots off this right now.
Right, which is why it's kind of awkward.
All right, we just won't hit both. We're not gonna hit both. Don't worry about it.
We can cast both of these.
We're not gonna hit both. All right, 20 cards. No grape shots. There's one. And we're flipping, and we're flipping. One last trigger. Okay.
We only have one echo left in the deck. Yeah, just draw 4. See what we can do with it.
Hey.
Oh.
Just like we drew it up.
Hope you like grapes, OP.
Alright, so do we just board in Leyline knowing that our opponent has Shallow Grave in their deck?
Yeah. Play that. Do we need Echoing Truth? We are cold to Emissary. I think I would play 1.
So I think that means that they're on TinFins, which usually doesn't play those cards.
Yeah, but there's plenty of people running just like not like full-on TinFins.
Okay.
They just want it so that they have like a chance of actually killing on the spot.
So we're boarding out Urza's Baubles, but then what?
I'll be a Stoker.
And only one Echoing Truth?
Yeah.
Okay. Tony, I know you're over there falling asleep, but you just gotta stick with me for one more game, and then we can both go to bed because we're old. But, you know, go 4-1, open up some chests. What's not to like there?
Some chesties.
I don't know if YouTube allows that one or not.
Chesticles?
Whoa. I think we just mulligan.
Yep.
Mulligan. We have ley lines in our deck. Here we go. Beautiful hand.
There it is.
Kind of hand you take home to meet the parents. There we go.
They're gonna be like, "What? I didn't play a card. Maybe you shouldn't play Shallow Grave."
Thoughtseize. What kind of joker plays that? You'll be hearing from our lawyers. Okay.
Do it.
I am the beatdown. Storm 2, Lotus Petal. Oil 1. Have you ever gone coast to coast with a Vindictive Flamestoker?
I have not.
Gotta get
I
that
have
on
done
your,
a significant
resume.
portion of damage though, and then finished off with some grape shots. Oh boy, what is this? Don't be a children.
Not good.
Yikes. Yikes.
Which is Exhume. So technically we can echo.
Yeah. Oh man.
I think we're allowed to echo here. we go to
Yeah, well,
16. We go to
we
2.
need to.
But we need our hand to win without drawing any more cards, which is not normal. And they're going to go to 1,000,000 life. I guess we're on chump block. No, we're dead, right? We're just flat
Yeah, we're
dead.
good. Because we're at 2, and then we're dead.
DED. All right. Game 3. Do we want the other Echoing Truth? Also, it looks like they're mono black. Like, we might just want to be as fast as possible.
I'm trying to think. Is there any other card that cares about graveyard order? Is there any chance they're not on Reanimator?
Well,
I
they
don't think
pitched
that's the case.
Exhume. We saw them.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Um, ugh. No, I mean, I don't think Echoing Truth is great for us.
All right. Game 3 on the play.
Nope.
Unfortunately, no.
Yep.
Keep. So we'll bottom the second Flamestoker.
Stoker. Yeah.
I mean, we could do Double
wait.
Stoker and get rid of the bobble.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, I'm down to party. Chancellor of the Annex. What kind of... Some people.
Damn. If only we had that bobble, huh? Alright. Cast something.
That's unfortunate. This actually would have been a much better start with the bobble. I wasn't even thinking about Chancellor, though, because people don't play that anymore.
Me neither, yeah.
Spin.
Okay. This is quite good.
I think we want to use the... Well, okay, so we have a decision to make, and it's, do we use the baubles immediately to play around Shieldred, or do you use them then play into the, like, their discard? I think we shouldn't expect a turn 1 Shieldred on a random 7.
Right. Yeah, I'd play around discard.
And now they'll grief us and put the Echo to our graveyard for us. That was not the best deck. Relay. And for some reason I didn't bobble them in their upkeep. Have I ever told you how bad I am at Magic, Tony? I'm like bottom 5%.
Bottom 5% is at the kitchen table.
Yeah, that's where I belong.
Under the age of 12.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the best Echo, but the fact that we're drawing 3 more cards, I think these Chrome Mox and Birgi, I think we're fine.
I know that we're down on time to our opponent, but what are you doing? Come on. This is speed Magic. We're past midnight at this point. We need to go.
You should type that to them.
I don't want to offend them. Also, there's probably 2 of them. They're Magic dads. I can't take 2 people. Tony, I went to a CDH tournament recently hosted by Eminence Gaming, a sponsor of this channel. And one of the bits of feedback I received from people is they expected me to be taller. And I was like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, according to Google, I'm the average male height. So, like, whatever that's supposed to mean, like, F you, I am 5'10".
I feel like that's just something that people always say.
Yeah. Boo, that was also stink. I guess we have cards to imprint to our Chrome Mox.
Wait, we gotta play Birgi, man.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I did lose us a red mana. Okay, sorry. I was dazed there for a second. I thought I saw the Birgi go to the graveyard. I was like, what just happened? Alright, so we're going to imprint the ley line. Because we don't want to draw that. Now we'll tap this. We'll add 3 blue. And then I think we want to float as much blue as possible. Because we could hardcast the one in exile if need be. Okay. Not bad. And it looks like we are probably going to hardcast the one in exile.
Yep.
It's making the mana. Right aflame. Tony, this league we've done so many clicks that I think Magic Online is just like giving up a little bit.
Yeah, I have to restart Moto every like couple matches. Excuse me.
I usually don't, but this league I'm feeling it. Feels like everything is taking multiple seconds. Play a Flamestoker.
I also have to buy a new mouse every week.
That I would believe. That sounds very believable. One thing that I mean, I like Pauper, but one thing that I dislike about Pauper is a lot of the combo decks are like infinite loop decks,
Ugh.
and I do not like playing like. It takes a lot of like mental fortitude to just sit there and do the same loop over and over and over again, and I just don't have it in me.
Do we want to play? Do we want to wait?
We could play Chromox, Echoing Truth, Chromox, Grape Shot. We're pretty close to that. So it would be Storm 14, 15, plus 3, 18, 19 with Spirit Guide, 20 Grape Shot. We have the win.
Hey.
Plus it gets our Flame Stoker all the way oiled up, as the kids say. Nice and oiled.
Is that what the kids are saying these days?
Don't exile the Simian. Yeah, you're not talking to kids that are talking about getting things oiled?
Things have really changed.
Okay. We can also hardcast the Leyline for Storm.
And a monkey.
Yep. I think I want to put the Leyline into play, though. It's like more of a, like, I have you beat so many ways sort of thing. Like, you probably hardcast monkeys all the time. But, like, hardcasting Leyline, like, you have to want to do that.
That would be the perfect time for someone who doesn't play Magic to, like, walk into someone listening to this or walk into your room. You probably hardcast monkeys all the time.
Yeah. Also, someone that doesn't play Magic, that's me, if you've watched any of this gameplay tonight.
Yes.
Also, I feel like if I'm being serious for a moment, like each one of my last couple of videos, I feel like has a pretty dumb play mistake in it. Like I haven't been playing that well recently.
Yeah, it happens.
We should draw 4 before casting the Grave Shot, just for insurance purposes.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to let me.
I was gonna say we've come this far, and
Yeah.
you're gonna scoop now?
Yeah, you're not allowed to concede, opponent. I'm sorry. We're in the middle of doing work. Okay, Storm is 20. Hey, okay. So we'll play this Flotus Petal, and then we'll cast Grape Shot. We have double shots, the best kind.
Nice.
Hey, we got the 4-1. Also, I
Not
don't know why it brought you to my bad constructed rating over here. Don't judge me. I play a lot of donation decks, okay? I mean, deck was good. A lot of clicking, though. A lot of clicking, Tony. Yes, I want to open all. Why wouldn't I want to open all?
What do we get?
I recognize Altar of Dementia and Mind Slicer. This thing's the +5/+5 split second card. I've never seen this card before in my life. I think I've seen Master of Pearls before. Demonic Rising, that card, with a name like that, it can't be good. Rejuvenating Springs. Perforos, Bronze Blooded. And a Johnny Great-Hearted. Who names Magic cards these days? Tony, thank you for coming on. I know that it's late for both of us. Do you have any final thoughts on this deck list?
No, I mean, it's a work in progress. However, it's been in progress for a long time, so it's definitely, close to where it should be. There's a lot of things kind of in flux that it's difficult to nail down. How do I want to say this? It's tough to evaluate how certain things are doing because the core and the shell is so tried and true. Just Gamble Storm in general. You can play Grim Monolith and it's fine. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna keep playing it, keep testing it, keep bouncing it off the community, keep making videos, and who knows? Maybe we'll come up with something a little bit different that's better. Maybe not.
And if you want to watch Tony's videos, check out our description. In there, we'll have all of Tony's links. You can go, support Tony, like Tony, follow, whatever you got to do there. Tony, thanks again for coming on the channel. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a great night. And thanks to everyone watching. Have a great day and keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.